Hi, everybody. We'll be getting started in just a couple minutes here. Just getting everything set up on my end. So thanks for everybody who's here today, and excited for today's call. I'll talk about who's going to be at the Rhodium Weekend coming up in October. So a couple things as we get started here. There is a Q&A tool that's in the Google Hangouts screen here, and you should see it somewhere. If you put your mouse over on the left-hand side of your screen, you should see the little toolbar pop up, and there's one there that says Q&A. I'll be keeping an eye on that Q&A tab in case anybody has any questions, and make sure that I'll do my best to answer any of those. So we'll get started here in just about one more minute. If anybody has any questions about the Hangout system, or for any reason can't hear me, please make sure you let me know by utilizing that Q&A feature. It's important that you guys are all able to hear me, so I'm not sort of talking to no one. So I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to start now. I'll go ahead and turn on my screen share to go through my slides here. So let's get started with that. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. So today's Hangout is about the Rhodium Weekend event that we'll be holding in October, on the October 24th through the 26th. It's going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is going to be our third event doing this. The first 2 years we branded it a little bit differently. It was called the Internet Investment Summit. And what we're doing this year is just tweaking the format a little bit, tweaking the branding a little bit. So we're really excited to introduce the Rhodium Weekend brand this year. And what's different about it in the last years is it's been really very heavy focus on people who buy websites and people who sell websites. And as we thought about it and realized, you're really only buying for a small period of time. Really where the work comes in is in growing those online businesses, or we call them digital assets. And so we decided that we're going to rebrand this thing and increase the focus not just on buying and selling websites, but also for people who are really excited about building and growing and even buying and selling digital assets and building cash flowing assets that are going to let us live the lifestyles that we want to live and have the fun that we want. And that's one of the things I love about being an online entrepreneur, is the ability to work from anywhere and have the freedom to spend time with my family when I want to. And that's really what this event is bringing together everyone in our community into one room. And we believe that bringing together really smart people into one room, just amazing results can happen. And that's one of the things we were most surprised about at our last events. We thought it was just all about teaching, but it's not. It's really about bringing together smart people who understand what it's like to live the online business lifestyle, and who are doing really cool things online. And let them get together and discuss with one another and learn about each other's business, and and have discussions and really mastermind with one another in a live format. You just don't get that same feeling on events like this. You want an actual live format, and that's really what our goal is. But one of the things I wanted to cover today specifically is who's going to be presenting at Rhodium Weekend, and I'm really, really excited about this. We've got a great lineup of presenters, and so let's get right into that. So again, covering today's agenda, I'm going to announce the 2014 speakers for this year's event, and I'm just going to go over a couple of important dates that are coming up fairly quickly so that everybody's aware of when everything's happening with this event. So the organizers of this event, I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Chris Yates. Hi, everybody. And I'll be one of your organizers for this event. I'll be doing a little bit of speaking at the event, but really my goal is to make sure that everybody comes out, everybody gets the results they want from this event, And also my business partner, David Gass, he's one of the organizers, and we're both really online entrepreneurs, and we've been doing this for years. We've had a lot of successes. We've bought businesses. We've sold businesses. We've started websites from scratch and grown them. I mean, really, our experience is just like you guys, and we're excited to be the ones to facilitate such a great event and such great people coming together, and again, making sure that you get the results you want from coming out to our event. So, announcing this year's speakers. Let's start at the top. What I want to start with are the new speakers this year. We have several people, and one of them is Justin Cook from Empire Flippers. And if you haven't heard of Justin, let me give you a little bit of background. And this is from him. He's one of the partners of Empire Flippers, which is a marketplace where he brokers and curates profitable websites for sale, and they facilitate the deals, and their goal is to bring transparency to both the buying and the selling process for both ends of the deal. And what's cool about these guys, in my opinion, is that they actually are originally from the U.S., are now living in the Philippines, and they're able to run their business way over, basically on the opposite side of the earth from where I'm at. I'm in Missoula, Montana. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but those guys are really out of, across the globe. So they're coming all the way over for this event, and we're really excited about that. So Justin, he considers himself a Mark Cuban wannabe, which I think is kind of funny. He drives the marketing arm of Empire Flippers, and a little bit on his background. He started in 2011, and what he's told me is that he's been able to, with Empire Flippers, he's been able to drive more than, I think he said, like 12,000 subscribers, 500,000 podcast downloads, which is amazing. Their podcast is really, really popular. I think it's one of the highest rated business podcasts. I'm not sure where it's at right now in terms of popularity, but the ratings on that thing are unbelievable. Everybody gets a ton of value out of that. And he mentioned 750,000 website visits in the last 4 years. So he's been doing a lot of work building his Empire Flippers brand, and we're really happy to have him come out and share really the behind-the-scenes story of what it's like to live over in the Philippines and have and manage a team over there and run online businesses from over there, and help you learn more about what you should be looking for if you're considering outsourcing over to the Philippines. Justin's run an outsourcing company over there. So that is one of the new speakers this year at our events. We're really excited for Justin to come out to that. Next up is Justin's partner, Joe. Again, he's co-founded Empire Flippers with Justin, and he's also co-host of their podcast, and I highly recommend you check out their podcast. He goes by Joe Hot Money Magnati, which is a great name. I'm excited to find out how he can help us get some of that hot money. And he's facilitated, he says, thousands of website sales in just a few short years, which is amazing. I mean, that is some crazy experience. Being able to see the whole process of building, preparing for sale, selling websites, putting the buyers and sellers together, answering the concerns, the questions, and then providing all that support after the fact. I mean, that type of knowledge and understanding and depth that he probably brings, I mean, he's just going to really, really bring a lot of value to the audience there, so I'm excited for that. And so next up, after Justin and Joe, is Chris Guthrie. Now, Chris is a friend of mine I met back in, I think it was about 3 years ago, something like that. We actually bought some software that Chris had developed in our industry, and we got to know him. He joined our mastermind group, and he's been doing some amazing things since then. He's been a full-time internet entrepreneur for the last 5 years, and he's got a really, really great story that he's going to share at the event about how he made that transition from employee to full-time internet entrepreneur, and some of the wins he's had along the way. He started building websites after he sold one of his main websites for a six-figure deal back in 2010. And since then, he's been expanding into buying websites, buying online businesses, and now what he's doing, which I think is really, really, really interesting and applicable, is he's the CEO and founder of a company called Boost WP, so BOOSTWP.com. And what he does is he builds plugins to help WordPress website owners generate traffic leads and earn more money from their websites. So we use WordPress all the time, and I know a lot of the folks who've been in our events last couple years are also using WordPress. So really excited about what Chris is going to be sharing on both of those topics of sort of transitioning into a full-time entrepreneur, and also what he's doing now to really level up some of the websites that he's installing these plugins on. Next up, this is a very special guest. His name is Jordan Harbinger. Jordan, I came across Jordan from his podcast called The Art of Charm, and I'm just always amazed at the level of quality people he gets onto that podcast and is able to interview. I mean, he's interviewed some really, really amazing people. So Jordan is a former lawyer turned social dynamics expert, and social dynamics, he'll explain that, but really it's about what he calls charm. And I don't want to try to explain it. He does a much better job. But charm is something that we as men and women can learn as a skill to apply in business, in our relationships, to really be the best that we can be and to leave the world a better place. That's one of his guiding principles. So I'm really excited about having Jordan out to the event. So Jordan, right now, he's the owner and co-founder of The Art of Charm, which is a dating and relationships coaching company. It's kind of a men's lifestyle company where he talks about, how to improve, like personal growth. He talks about how to improve relationships. For those of you who may not be married yet, he provides tips on going out and finding the person of your dreams and getting, that relationship very strong and built. So he's been able to build a amazing company out of that concept. He also has some great experience. He's co-hosted a podcast which is on relationship advice and social dynamics, which was a sort of a talk show format. And he's also actually had a Sirius XM satellite radio show called Game On, and that was all about meeting and attracting women. So Jordan, again, he is of the highest caliber. Really, really excited to have him out. And just to give you an idea of how well he's doing, the Art of Charm podcast receives over 1 million monthly downloads, if you can believe that. That is just crazy. And I listen to it all the time. I love it. It's one of the top 20 podcasts in iTunes overall. So if you have any interest in podcasting and what the impact can be for your business, you need to come see Jordan and talk with him and have a conversation with him. Really, really excited to have him. He's helped tens of thousands of guys take their life to the next level. And if you are a believer in personal development and constant improvement, Jordan's going to be sharing some impactful experience really on how you can get more from yourself, really. So after Jordan, we have the folks who are returning this year. One thing I just want to mention before we go into these other folks is that our event is different from other events. And the reason I say that is because at other events, typically there's like 1,000 people there. You might be crammed into a big auditorium, and really you almost feel isolated in the crowd. You're probably 100, 200 feet away from the presenters. They come up on stage, and then they leave, and you never talk to them. You never have a chance to really interact with them. Occasionally, maybe you'd get on a microphone and be able to ask them a question or something, and of course you're on the clock. But our event is very different from that perspective. You'll actually be able to sit sort of in a close area with these presenters, and you'll have the opportunity as they're presenting to ask questions, to expand on, have them expand on areas that you want to learn. Ask them really, and just have a discussion with these presenters. And even the presenters are there. They'll be sitting right next to you. They're not isolated and sort of put on a pedestal at our events. A lot of the people at this event, you'd be surprised that the people you'll meet sitting next to you probably could also be up on stage presenting. So our event is going to have the feel more of a mastermind type of a format or a close networking sort of feel to it, and not so much like the really isolating conference that you just don't get a chance to talk to everybody, and you don't get a chance to make a connection with people and have a discussion and really learn how you can help one another. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention. And along those lines, that's why we're bringing some people back, is so that you can have that reconnection with some of these people that you met in the previous years and find out what they're up to now. All of these guys that are coming back are doing really, really cool stuff. They've learned a lot. A lot has happened. Some of it as a result of our event, and some of it just on their own businesses. So let's get into that. So next up is Justin Gilcrest. And Justin is a good friend of ours. He's been at every event that we've done. We really appreciate having him out. Justin is the co-founder of Centurica, and he founded a website called, or a software as a service tool called flipwebsites.com. And Justin is from the UK, so he'll be making quite a long trip over to visit us in Vegas. And what his company does is provides due diligence and website assessments to investors who are acquiring these digital assets. His background comes from buying, operating, and selling internet businesses. So again, he's an internet entrepreneur. He is the type of guy who is doing this day in and day out right now, and he can share his experiences, and you can learn from those experiences. And Justin, the other thing he has is a very unique perspective on what really makes up the value of websites. His company provides due diligence services, which means that he's going through basically a massive checklist on all of these websites to uncover either hidden assets or hidden risks in these. And that's something that we can learn from, not only if we're looking to buy or sell, but also if we're operating sites right now. You can learn what you might be underutilizing in your website or your digital assets that you have. So we're really excited to hear about how Justin's going to share and how you guys can do that and take some actionable steps coming out of the event for that. So next up, after Justin, is Jason Glaspie. Jason came to our event last year. He's been in our mastermind for a couple years here, and he came to our event last year. Jason spoke and talked about his company at the time, which was paleoplan.com, and how he built that to a mid five-figure a month, basically passive income stream, and since the event was able to sell that company as a result of the connections he made in that event. And it wasn't a 100% sale. Jason will have to tell you more about that. I'm really excited to hear the story of how he was able to bring in a partner, pull out some of his equity and cash out on that, and still be part of this business and have a couple great guys as part of it. So his experience on that he'll share, and he'll also be talking about his new venture, which is called Factory. Factory is really, really cool model. I'm excited about this. Basically, what Jason does with his company is he publishes content with a digital-first bias. So rather than what you see in Barnes & Noble with these books out there, typically very, very different model. That hasn't changed for 300 years. I mean, they're talking. Jason is not doing printed books. He's doing all digital. He's doing fast, quality products. And what he's going to talk about is how you can add a new product with no experience and basically extract the knowledge from an expert in the field and turn that into a profitable product that you can sell either through your existing sites or start new sites around. So it's going to be a really, really highly actionable conversation that we'll have with Jason. So I'm excited about Jason's talk. One thing else about Jason, just what the experience he brings in. Jason actually co-founded a tech incubator in Portland. He's ran a 2-day conference called Tiny Startup Camp, where he taught people to build basically little side project businesses that are basically passive income sort of side projects. He's done commencement speeches. He's taught at universities. So, and he's just the kind of guy who who loves sharing his experience, and he has a lot of it. So again, we're really excited about having Jason out. So next up is Scott Fritz, and Scott's actually one of the partners in my company. He isn't in the day-to-day. He's one of our investors in our company. And Scott has been at our event the last couple years and presented. He's coming back again this year with really an interesting twist on his 40-hour work year book. And if you haven't heard of the 40-hour work year, what Scott did was he published a book back in 2010 that kind of chronicles his entrepreneurial journey firsthand of how he took his business and became essentially a passive investor in his own business and was able to run that business as an investor. I don't know if run is probably the wrong word. He's able to step away from that business enough that he was able to only spend 40 hours a year in that business. So not 40 hours a week. He's doing 40 hours a year in that business. And just a really, really amazing depth of experience he brings. And he's going to talk about his strategic business methods. He's going to give you guys some action-focused exercises, talk about his mindset of the philosophy that's allowed him to become that passive investor and achieve the 40-hour work year. So really excited that. Scott's also an angel investor. He's invested in multiple ventures. His involvement ranges from simply passive investor to business coach to advisory board member. So if you're looking for help, you're interested in funding, you're interested in learning about how angel investors think, how somebody like Scott helps these companies grow, you got to come listen to Scott. You got to come have a discussion with him. He's going to be there. We're really excited about it. So after Scott, that's everybody. Actually, we'll have a couple of panelists coming in. I think we'll have Mark from Quiet Like Brokerage. We'll have a representative from Latona's, and I think we're going to most likely have somebody come out from Flippa and a couple of other folks, and we're going to have a couple discussions around the topic of valuing your assets that you have, your digital assets. So there'll be some more folks announced. They'll be part of the event. These are the primary speakers that will be there. So we hope everybody can come out. The important dates that we have here. So coming up pretty soon, our early registration discount will be ending. That happens on 9/9, so September 9th. We will be bumping up the price for tickets. Now, I want to give you guys who have been, and gals who have been sitting on the call this long, a little tip. If you know somebody who is coming out to the event personally, or you know somebody that was an alumni of this event personally, or you know somebody who is either presenting this year or presented in previous years, reach out to them, tell them you'd like to be their guest for the event, and we will have a special price for you. Your contact will have to reach out to me and have the two of us connect, but I do want to mention that if you know somebody, make sure that you reach out to them, talk to them about becoming one of their guests for this year's event. So the other dates here, we do have a hotel block right now, and we are releasing that hotel block, which has the special rates. That will be released on the 22nd of September, and then the actual event happens October 24th. It goes from Friday through Sunday. Friday morning, I think around 11, we're going to be going over to the Zappos headquarters. If you haven't heard of Zappos, it's the company that sold to Amazon for a ridiculous amount of money. I can't even remember the exact amount. It's on our website, rhodiumweekend.com. We're going to go there. We're going to tour. We're going to learn about culture. We're going to learn about how they have fun at work, how they really put the customer first. We're going to learn about some of their operations of how they ship a massive amount of shoes around the world. And it's going to be fun. And then the actual event will kick off. The venue is called the Innovation Center. It's a really cool co-working incubator that's there in Vegas, and it will kick off there, I think, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then Saturday we'll do a full day, speakers. We'll have discussions. We'll be doing some activities with one another, with the group. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you that. I also am going to be doing a morning on, or we're going to be doing a morning on Sunday starting at 9 and then ending at about 1 o'clock. So for those of you who would like to get back to your families on Sunday afternoon, you should have plenty of time to do that if you take a later flight on Sunday. So that's all I have for you, and I want to say thank you to all of you who attended today's hangout, and I look forward to having you out to the event, connecting with you, getting to know you. The website is rhodiumweekend.com. Make sure you get on there, apply to attend, or just shoot me an email. You can also email me at Chris, C-H-R-A-S, at rhodiumweekend.com. Thanks again. That's everything for tonight.